Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to review two more episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, episodes 53 and 54. 53, this episode was mainly kind of like a setup episode for the final day of the tournament, which is fine. We get three major scenes. We get the scene with the Mafia dude, which is really important. The Mafia dude and the guy who's like the manager of Togoro's team. That's really important. We get Yusuke kind of sulking and then kind of like picking his spirits back up with some words from Koenma and stuff. And then the last scene is also fairly important, and that is Suzuka the fucking clown without his makeup on. And he gives the spirit items to Kuwabara and Kurama. We also see Hiei try to do this thing, and I'll get to that, but overall, it was a decent amount of things happening, and there's a decent amount of story progression, I suppose. It's not amazing story progression, because it is setup, but as far as setup goes, it's fairly good, and the animation was actually quite nice for quite a few scenes. So, yeah, as far as the Yusuke stuff, that's pretty simple. He's sulking, he's having these flashbacks about getting the orb and a few other scenes, and they're okay. Didn't really need to see, like, those whole entire scenes, but, you know, it's whatever. He's crying. It's kind of sad. You kind of feel bad for him. Koenma says a few things, you know, message from Genkai. And yeah, he fires this really big fucking spear gun into the air, and they're all like, oh my god, that's Yusuke's power and shit. So yeah, there's that. Also, there's this scene where, like, he gets back up from, like, sulking. He's, like, on the ground, and he, like, gets up and jumps, but he does, like, this crazy backflip, like, 4 backflips, then, like, spin around, then front flip, and then land, and I'm like, whoa, bro, settle down, we got a badass, that was necessary, you had to do the flips. No, it was just kind of funny that he did all those flips before he landed. But yeah, and I kind of like that Koenma went in his, like, adult form, because it kind of made the scene feel, I don't know, a little bit more serious. Like, he's not arguing with the little baby cute Koenma, he's, like, arguing with someone who looks a little bit more serious, aside from the freaking pacifier in his mouth. But yeah, so all that stuff with Yusuke was cool. You know, adds to his character development, but it's nothing too spectacular. It's just, you know, it's good for his character to, you know, be not back to his old self, because he's obviously developing, but more, I guess, upbeat. I don't know how to say, but he's, you know, not as depressed, and that's always good. Then we have the stuff with Kuwabara and Kurama and Suzuka. And what he basically does is he gives them the items, the magical items that his old team used, and the reason why he gave it to them is because he wanted to kill Togoro, because he got his ass kicked by Togoro by 3%. Oh, fuck. 3%, man. Oh my god, that's nasty, dude. That's horrible. You're disgustingly bad. But anyways, Togoro beats him, and he wants revenge, obviously. Couldn't get it, so now he wants Yusuke's team to get revenge, and that makes a lot of sense. And you know, those spirit items, the item that could turn Kurama into his, you know, old self. I mean, it really ties together nicely. I think it's really well written, and I was kind of wondering where this writing was for, like, all the Dark Tournament. Because the Dark Tournament's been good, but it hasn't really had that foreshadowing, you know, that setup, you know, all these things tying together the way they are now. It was just kind of like fight, fight, fight. And they were entertaining and cool, but, you know, it's just kind of interesting how now, all of a sudden, the writing has really ramped up to something where it's like, I don't really see everything coming. Because I wouldn't have called Suzuka showing up and giving them the freaking items and everything. But yeah, it was really cool, and obviously this is going to give a huge boost to Kuwabara's sword, and obviously Kurama will be able to transform himself back into his old form, so that's really badass, and I really like how that turned out. So, the only other thing is Hiei and the Mafia stuff. As far as Hiei goes, he tries to do this really, really powerful punch. I don't know if it was everything he had, but he does this big punch, makes this really big crater, and it's like half the size of the one Togoro made, and Togoro was only at 80%, and Hiei's like, fuck, what is this guy? Well, he doesn't say anything like that, but you know. And now we have the Mafia dudes, and the manager of Togoro's team, and fucking bloodbath. Togoro just fucks up these dudes. Can I have an orange juice? Done. I was like, fuck, Togoro, whoa, orange juice? But anyways, but yeah, the dude wants to, like, use all this money to make a giant, like, permanent portal between the spirit world, or like the demon world, and the regular world, so demons could just come in, he's gonna change the food chain and all this crazy shit. That's kind of I didn't see that coming. That's kind of outrageous. I think it's cool. I guess this guy is fucking a villain at this point. It seems like, if I remember correctly, he bet on Yusuke's team to beat Toguro because everyone's voting for Toguro, or, you know, betting on Toguro. So he bet on Yusuke, so he's hoping Yusuke beats Toguro, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But, yeah, I think it's really cool. That's pretty much the entire episode, so overall, I'd say it's like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. A very good episode. A good to very good. I like the setup that they had with the Suzuka and all the items and shit, and him giving them to, like, avenge him and, like, beat Toguro. That was really cool, because I was kind of like, okay, this is cool, you know, he gave him the items. That makes a lot of sense. I like how they were used by the other team, and they were now given to them, and it's like, there you go, problem solved. You're going to get stronger. It makes sense. There's no ass pull. But why are you helping them? And then they explain it. And I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So that was all fine. No real flaws or complaints with this episode. So, overall, if I was to, like, no, I'm not even going to nitpick. Fuck it. I'm going to give it, like, a 7.5 to an 8. 7.8, whatever. Good episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. Now we'll move on to episode 54. Okay, you guys, so episode 54. It was a decent episode, I suppose. It was mainly another setup episode, but it felt more like stalling, to be honest. The main part of the episode is both teams need a 5th member in order to actually compete, and they get their 5th members, and they're just obviously, you know, substitutes, just there to, you know, fill up space, which is fine. The other part of the episode is like this really filler-ish scene where the girls have to get inside. They don't have tickets, so this one dude shows up and he's like, oh, I have tickets, and they steal them. And it's kind of comedic and whatever. But, yeah. I don't know. It just felt filler-ish. I don't know if it was filler, but even if it was canon, it just felt like it was wasting time. We got Kurama set up to fight the one dude with the mask and the explosion powers. So that'll be pretty cool. And we also have... Let's see what else happened in this episode. No, I mean, that's pretty much the entire episode. I mean, we have the group meet up at the beginning. Oh, and we also see Kuwabara. Kuwabara uses the sword, and he feels like this really badass power, and the sword's like super long and shit, so he wants to show it off. Then all the team meets up. Yusuke doesn't want to tell them about Genkai because he doesn't believe she'll come back, but he doesn't want to let go. He wants to, like, always have that belief that she'll be back. He doesn't want to accept that she's gone, which I figured he would have done in the last episode, but I guess not. Figured he already, you know, let it go and, you know, but I don't know. So, yeah. Hiei's arm was all fucked up because it did something wrong, I guess. Kind of weird. I agree with Kuwabara. Very weird. But, yeah. Really cool scene of Yusuke, too, just, like, powering up on the cliff. Pretty intense. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really much to talk about in this episode, though. I mean, the stalling was stalling. You know, audience yelling, them standing around, mermaid chick kind of being impatient, almost calling Yusuke the winner, but then Koenma shows up, and Koenma's gonna be the freaking extra substitute, and Toguro's extra substitute is the dude with the scar, the mafia dude who wants to create the freaking evil portals and shit, main villain up in here. And, yeah, that's pretty much the entire episode, honestly. Not a lot happened. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. I just went back through the episode to make sure I remembered everything. Yes, we got the fight set up. That was pretty cool. Them needing a 5th member, I really don't think that was necessary. I think they could have bent the rule to just be 4 fighters. But whatever. Excuse me. So, yeah, I don't know. Really not much to say. It was a decent episode, like a 6.5. Decent rating. Okay-ish. Kind of subpar, maybe. But not horrible. Subpar would be like a 5, I guess. It's not, like, horrible either. It's not horrible material. It's just not paced the best. Decent-ish pacing, but nothing great. Not a lot of story progression. Even for a setup episode, it felt stalled and, you know, dragged out. So, I don't know. Padded out episode, subpar to decent. Not one of the best, but it's pretty much a calm before the storm as the finals are really about to start. So, yeah. Next review should be a much more positive one. hopefully it's a pretty damn good episode. So anyways, I'll give this one like a 6.5. Like a 5.5 to a 6-ish area. Yeah, I'll go down to like a 6. 6.5, yeah, whatever. Like a subpar-ish, average, borderline episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. Don't hate me. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Follow me on Instagram, if you would please. Bye.